And one side that's struggled to get the wins on the board, but it seemed to be coming good now. It's Doncaster East versus Mitcham yesterday, Ray.
Yes, Doncaster East, 20 goals, 12, 132, defeated Mitcham, 9 goals, 5, 59. Multiples for Doncaster, Limback with 7, Whitling with 3, Batsanis with 2, and for Mitcham, Chris Hoger was their only multiple goal kicker with 2. Best for Donny East, Whitling, Paget, Stephen, Martin, Tenler and Shalakis, and for Mitcham, Glossop, Johnson, Murray, Keedle, Miles and McKeon.
Yeah, that's a big win. Limback back in the goals with 7. They kicked 20 in total. The other point to look at there, Ray, is Mitcham only kicked 9 goals, 5. So the defensive side for Donny East, we always look at goals, but they must have had a great day.
Well, you look at that, that's right. When you shut Mitcham's forward line down, it obviously starts in the midfield. So it'd be interesting to talk to Donny East coach very shortly and just find out if that midfield did prove to be excellent for Donny East yesterday.
Yeah, and then they had a bit of a struggle, Doncaster East, early in the season, but now all of a sudden they've got 4 wins and they're definitely in the mix of top sides in the division, and it's a great opportunity to speak to their coach, Steve Buckle, who's online now. Steve, welcome to EFL Sunday.
Thanks, boys. Morning.
Good morning to you. What is the main positive? Look at the goals, that's fine, but the defence and maybe the midfield structures have been beautifully done yesterday, keeping Mitcham to only 9 goals.
Yeah, look, I think that when I spoke to you guys a couple of weeks ago, we're sort of in the process of just, rejigging a few areas and sort of setting up a new back 6, just through change of personnel, but also sort of forced hand through injury. And it's actually been working out for us really well over the last couple of weeks. And now that we've got, with our new ruckman, the longer that he plays with the midfield, the better they're getting and the better understanding they're getting of each other as well. So things are sort of starting to click and fall in place, which is pretty pleasant.
And did the group get a lot of confidence from that first term, shutting down Mitcham to being goalless?
Yeah. Look, it was a real struggle early. We should have put a little bit more scoreboard pressure on them, but we just couldn't hit it. But it was good to see that our back line was standing up for the second week in a row, which is they're starting to get some consistency down there. And but yeah, look, it was really good to have them at no goals at the end of the first for sure.
And is structure important in Division 2 that you have the 6 in place? Because it seemed like you're conceding so many inside 50s in the first few weeks that it wasn't going to come together, but it seems like now that you've got players on the park that you can rely on, it's all come together?
Yeah, that's a fair enough thing to say too. Look, it's no secret that we were bleeding and leaking goals very early in the season. 49 scoring shots, 46 scoring shots against. Isn't ideal. But so, we did have to throw things around a little bit, and we lost our captain for a couple of weeks as well, and Shane Tennant, and he's pivotal to our back line, so we have to restructure around that too. But the best thing for those guys is it's a young group down back. There's 3 or 4 guys who are playing in there who haven't played there really in their careers, and it's all just clicking.
Good morning, Steve. Ray here.
Oh, right, Carl.
Good, mate. I must admit, mate, I jumped off yesterday. I must admit that. But looking at your side yesterday, you've conceded only 9 goals. Is that credit to your midfield?
Yeah. Look, it is, but also that back 6 is very stable. But the midfield, as I said earlier, they've got a really good understanding of what they're trying to do in their setups now. It was always going to take us a little bit, and we're always going to be a little bit slower than come out of the box pretty slow because recruiting a new ruckman to the club. He had to move over from Adelaide. Only got to come pretty much and walk straight into the practice matches. Didn't really have much of a pre-season under his belt as far as fitness goes, so he's getting better and better every game. And they're learning very strong points are, where he likes to tap it, and we're actually getting some real good momentum out of the middle now. But the midfield have also picked up their work rate as far as pushing back deep into the fence and as well as running forward.
And with Limback kicking 7 again, and we know that he's been carrying an injury, in the early part of the season. But is he back to because he can be a great lead up for it, but he's also a very strong man-on-man mark. So is he leading as well as just playing out of the goal square?
Yeah, look, he's doing a bit of both. He copped a really nasty corking in the 1-2 South game. and that put him back sort of another week to his recovery after his pretty serious knee surgery at the end of last year. So it's taken him a little bit to get back on board. But look, he's starting to get back to his his full fitness levels, and starting to really perform and put some goals on the board for us.
Morning, Bucksy. It's BWS here, mate.
You didn't write us off like Ray, did you, mate?
Oh, never, mate. Bloody Ray. You just can't trust a guy like him, I tell you what. The name, everyone talks about Limback, and Dogger's a great player, but he's kicked a lot of goals late in the game yesterday, and you've had 11 individual goal kickers on the park, and that's a very pleasing thing.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. It's good to get a good spread. And look, if Dog's not kicking the goals, he's at least taking one or two or sometimes three defenders, which is really leaving some of our other forwards open. And it's just about us trying to expose other teams and utilise those forwards and take advantage of that. So, we had a really good spread. We're getting some really good run out of that back line. Our midfield is working well, and things are just starting to click.
How far away is Shane Tennant from returning to the side?
Look, he's hopeful after the bye. So hopefully he's right for the Croydon game. But we just have to sort of wait and play by ear. But look, we've still got a couple outs at the moment, which I imagine most teams do. But look, we're looking to bring back a couple in after the bye round.
And we've done it again, and we've talked about Limback and Tennant, but there's some other great players in the side, and a guy who's been in great form in the last couple of weeks especially, and he's a ripper as well, is Micah Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. He has been in really, really good form. He's just a ball. He gets first hands on a footy in the middle for us, and gets that early momentum going. But look, he's had really good help in there from he's been captaining us the last couple of weeks in Batanas. Also Dolph's been pretty good in the middle there. So we've got a good mix, and the guys who are stepping up from the reserves, a young kid like Jaden Phillips as well. He's just starting to get some senior football into him. He's come into the fold and really stepped up his game. We probably wouldn't have thought he was going to see much senior footy at the start of this year, but he stepped in and he's filling that forward as well.
What's your opinion on Division 2 so far after 6 rounds as opposed to last year? Most teams have improved, of course.
Oh, absolutely, and it's I think it's closer again. I think anybody, as you saw yesterday, Croydon knocked off Moolbrook by a point, and so look, anybody can beat anybody on their day, and we always say that about Division 2, but I think it's even more paramount this year. From anybody, East Bell even had a decent game, pretty close with Doncaster South all day yesterday to the last quarter by the looks of things. So, you just can't take anybody lightly.
Ain't life peachy when Doncaster East win and then the Tigers get up after the siren?
No, what a great night.
I got me both on both of those.
Yeah, Ray goes for Sydney, so feel free to let him know about it.
Well played, Ray.
It's an exciting day, and there was a ladies' lunch down at the club yesterday as well. So you had the dinner dance, you've had an R&B night, so it's quite a social place to be at the moment, the Doncaster East Football Club.
Yeah, it's been a big couple of weeks for sure. There's been back-to-back events, which is good, but it was good to see the ladies have their day yesterday, and the rooms were packed when we went upstairs after the game. Obviously, Mitcham travelled very well as well, and we're very thankful and very respectful of what the Mitcham Footy Club come and do and support other clubs in local footy. So we'll definitely be returning the favour to them as well. So a shout out to the Mitcham boys in that respect. But it was great just to have come upstairs with a smile on your face and have lots of supporters up there.
Steve, how's young Josh Dorr fitted in doing the MCs down there over BWS?
He's the main man now, mate. Don't you watch Donny Lions TV? It's an absolute ripper, that.
He's got. If I was Dyson Baker, I'd be watching me back, mate. He's a jet, the young fella. He's got Dyson covered easy, I reckon. So he's been great. He's got everything up and about our social side of things. He's got video going as well, which is a great way to promote our club. So we're getting out there a little bit more, and people are starting to see the club and knowing a little bit more about us. But look, we're just looking forward to him there as well, getting back to playing side. He's had a great pre-season. I think he played until he got injured. He was sort of entrenching himself in the senior team down back. expected from his perspective. But look, we're really happy with his output, so we're just looking forward to getting him back too.
And Steve, just to wrap up, you've got the bye, and then you play Croydon in what becomes a huge game in 2 weeks' time. So you must be looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Really tough contest. We know what they're going to bring. They're a strong unit. They've played together for a lot of years now, and whether that's at their ground or our ground, we're always ready for a really good contest against Croydon. And we know, look, sort of from the prelim final, they've probably got probably a point to prove, and they've probably been carrying that with them through the pre-season. So we're looking forward to a pretty fierce contest.
Yeah, it looks great. The season, there's 9 sides going for 4 spots, so it's a long way till we decide who's going to make the finals this year, but it's fantastic footy. So thanks for joining us again on EFL Sunday.
No, it's my pleasure, boys. Thanks for having me.
Steve Buckle, winning coach from Doncaster East, who get themselves into the top 4. And just for those who want to know who the ruckman from South Australia is, it's Mark Paget. And came across and...
He's huge.
Yeah, well, they obviously need him, because around him he makes other people stand tall.